What is up, homies? Welcome back to another trailer reaction from Heroes Reforged. I'm very excited to get into this one. We are watching the first trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps. Marvel, 4 a.m.? No, it's too early. What are you doing? I don't care that it's February 4th at 4 a.m. It's too much. Relax.
You can make it up to us by having us over for the premiere, and the after party, and all of that influencer bull.
Yeah.
Have us over because you all like us. All the employees over there like us, so that'll be fine.
Marvel
That's how you
employees.
could.
Thanks for watching our trailer reaction,
everybody. That's how you can make it up to us.
Also, if you guys want to see the uncut reactions for everything that we're watching, we're going to be watching shows like Daredevil this year. Invincible is about to come out. We're going to have the uncut reactions where you can sync up your footage and watch along with us on our Patreon, link down below. Also, we put out the first episode of the Heroes Reforged podcast. It's a little bit of a reintroduction as to who we are, what Heroes Reforged is, and our goals for the year. Lots of really great stuff, and also a merch store. We have brand new merch. It's all linked down in the description. That's where you can get all the meat and potatoes of everything I'm talking about. And make sure you guys also like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your favorite moment from this trailer. And unless anyone has anything else to say, I'm just ready.
I do. I went and saw the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was like a recap of like the MCU, which was great with orchestra, live orchestra. It was fantastic. Fireworks, projections, the whole thing. At the end, though, my absolutely favorite part of the show, Michael Giacchino showed us the entire first song that he wanted to premiere for the Fantastic Four. And my boy is hooking, man. My boy is hooking with the theme. And I have to be a little bit quiet because it's really early and everybody's asleep in my house. So
here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, he's cooking.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7 on the dot.
This is Augustine's dream.
We're all here.
Mid-century, up your ass.
Yeah.
Herbie, how's that sauce?
Very cool. Oh,
yo.
Okay. Okay. Is this guy good or what?
Yes, chef.
I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious. I just want to add a little bit of zip. Okay?
That's amazing. What a great. That's so funny.
-5.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible.
Yeah. Oh.
Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
Cool. That's all that Comic-Con footage.
Never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock.
Yeah, he has.
Johnny is Johnny.
He's always been fire.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us,
Whoa.
we'll face it together.
Oh my God.
Is this black?
What?
That's not good. Oh, the 60s costumes.
Yo!
Wow.
Yes! Whoa, was that John Malkovich? I didn't
John
realize
Malkovich.
he was in this. Holy
The
shit.
Red Ghost, I think. As a family. That was Galactus. And, oh, man.
Oh my God. Presented in
Fantastivision. That is fantastic.
Oh my God.
Better be 3D. Better be 3D, whatever it is.
Dude, for real. That was such a good trailer.
I didn't see anything in 3D label wise, but I mean, I hope so. I hope it looks good. Let's talk about
I will
thing,
burn
though, dude.
Marvel
I will
Studios
burn Marvel to the ground.
This is not in 3D.
Wait, you just asked for
if this is the one,
you just asked for a job,
God.
and then you wanted your next sentence is, "I will
Threat.
burn it to the ground."
Full threat, full blown threat. Yeah, if
let's talk about the thing, you guys. Let's talk. I feel like this is the character Ben Grimm that I feel like needed to get right, and I think we're all not traumatized. I don't want to say we're traumatized, but I think we're all used to the practical costume that came out, like, you know, with the original ones, right?
Years ago.
And that costume looked great.
I didn't think that the Michael Chiklis costume was that bad.
It's
I
not.
didn't think
it wasn't
that bad either.
It wasn't bad, but it was the best that it could have been
At that
in
time,
a
yeah.
practical prosthetic setting. And the thing is that when you take the Thing drawings, when you take specifically this sort of like Jack Kirby art, when you take this and you try and make that fit onto the guy from The Shield, Michael Chiklis, then that's going to be the best it's going to look. But
Absolutely.
the same way that they figured out when they did the Eric Bana Hulk, and they're like, Hulk cannot be a practical Lou Ferrigno guy. It needs to be CG because the Hulk is so big. in that same way, I think they just couldn't really afford to do it for the full character for Fantastic Four, the Michael Chiklis, Tim Story versions, or those two movies. But I think by the time they got to the next reboot of Fantastic Four from 10 years ago, 2015, they're like, he needs to be CG. The problem was the design was so unappealing. And that's what I love about this design. And that's what I was hoping, and I'm really glad that we're seeing from whatever the leaked photos were, whatever it was, or the art, the little leaked like promotional art that we sort of saw for like San Diego Comic-Con or whatever else where they're doing his silhouette. He needs to be a CG character because he's inhuman, and yet he's not 10 feet tall. He's only 6 foot. Like Reed Richards needs to be a little bit taller than the Thing, not even just Ben Grimm, but then the Thing. And the Thing himself, he needs to be appealing. Even if he's a rock monster, the way that the Jack Kirby art evolved and then eventually went to all the other like iconic Fantastic Four artists over the years, they make his face is somewhat appealing. I can draw the Thing, and he's got the big eyebrows and the human eyes and the little nose and the big upper lip and the big mouth smile. And he's a rock monster, but he is appealing. There's a reason that works. He looks good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I want to watch him. I want to watch him because I really like that and it's the classic like old school design as well, where his brow was very kind of like pronounced and sticking out from his silhouette a little bit. Where like that was kind of the main focus of the face. But
the way he's running in the trailer, the way he moves and he's running, I was like, that's just the Thing from Marvel Comics. Like that's what he moves like. And the Thing, Ben in the trench coat is like
so good.
that shit's gonna make me cry. Because that look, him with his little 60s hat and in his trench coat, walking around New York City, the reflection he sees of himself in the TV, in the department store that's selling TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So sad, so haunting. That's what the Thing is all about. The trailer opens with Reed showing a reporter the Baxter Building.
Yeah.
And that is pulled directly from my favorite Fantastic Four run of comics written by Mark Waid from about 25 years ago, from like the year 2000. It's such a great way to introduce the characters to audiences. We probably will see like flashbacks of them getting the powers. That doesn't matter when you join into their adventures. Yeah, but what's more important is like, here's who we are as people. Here's what we're doing. The reporter is an effort from Reed to try and get publicity up and to get them and to get the world to know who all 4 of them are and to make them famous superheroes, because Reed feels guilty about him turning his friend into a rock monster. He doesn't feel so guilty about Johnny giving him fire powers or Sue, but it's Ben that he's like, and he can't undo it.
Right.
He's not smart enough. He can't figure out how to undo it. God damn it. I love the Fantastic Four so much. That's such a great, heartbreaking thing. So that's why that's why he's there taking a tour. Yeah, dude, and Giacchino's rocking it. And I used to think it would have been too on the nose to have the composer of The Incredibles do the Fantastic Four. but enough time has passed now.
Yeah, and you look at everything he's done in the last 10 years. He's done so many Marvel films, and they all have their own distinct sound. And on top of that, he's done the Batman and very different. But I could totally see how how 2 retro-futuristic projects set in, the mid-1900s that are very similar in vibes. And obviously Incredibles is very much inspired by Fantastic Four. You'd be like, 100%. Is this a little too much? But yeah, I feel like enough time has passed that this works just fine. It's also cool to see that Comic-Con footage that we saw last year make its way into the movie. I wasn't sure if that was just going to be strictly for promotional purposes. Or if all the footage on the TV
ready or whatever.
Like I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case or if it was going to be in the movie. And I know Matt Shackman talked about how they were using that footage as a proof of concept that they could do the visual effects at the level that they wanted to do them in the amount of time that it takes for them to make the movie, because this movie has a much shorter production than something like Superman that shot last year and the year before, I think, or early last year, and has had all of 2024 and 2025 to do the visual effects. This thing finished shooting, I think, just a few months ago.
Yeah, in 2024.
Yeah, and they're just doing all the post-production between now and like May or June, which is a pretty short window. So I think that was sort of the big idea behind this like reel of the Fantastic Four going to space the first time is, can we do the visual effects to the level that we want? And so far, I mean, like everything looks really good to me. And because it is a retro-futuristic timeline, there, I'm sure, will be a lot of visual effects to make the cityscape and the skyline, you know, like there are shots of the skyline, and there are obviously a lot of buildings that don't match what's in our current New York skyline, whatever that is across from the Empire State Building with the ball at the top. I don't know what the hell that is. But yeah, so from everything that the trailer is showing us, it all looks really, really promising. And the fact that they threw in a reference to the bear is also just like icing on the cake.
Yes, chef.
Pretty great.
Yeah, dude. I really like that. I really like that actor's voice as the thing. They didn't go in and digitally make it like super rocky. It doesn't sound like, he's just like, that's kind of his normal voice. And he just sounds like a dude. He just sounds like a dude from New York. He's a Brooklyn boy. It makes me very, very happy. I keep watching it on repeat, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, mine's been on repeat this entire time.
We're going to talk about this on our podcast, but I think that this is the project that has the most pressure on it for Marvel this year. And I'll talk about why on our podcast. So go watch a future episode of that. There's so much to talk about this. I also love the vibe. Do not get me wrong, but I'm worried about how they're going to continue forward. I don't want the Fantastic Four to remain in their own separate universe and have it be multiversal interactions and crossovers going forward. And I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that they're planning to blend these characters into the MCU timeline. I think I mentioned this before, but I have a feeling it's going to be something like Doctor Doom, not Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom, unless they're trying to do some shenanigans, but like the real Doctor Doom, whoever the future actor is that's playing this character, at some point years ago, messed with the Fantastic Four and used technology and sorcery to put them in their own universe and in the 60s, so far out of the way, when in actuality, they have been in the MCU since the beginning and even before Iron Man. So right now, in the MCU's history, the first superhero to come out publicly and kind of be this big, you know, in the modern day superhero before Captain America was thought out and then before the Avengers started out was Iron Man, was Tony Stark. And it happened in the year 2008. And I have a feeling that post Secret Wars, Reed is going to learn that he was messed with by Doctor Doom. And Reed and the family, they're going to go, actually, we're from this universe. And we became the Fantastic Four not in 1961, but in the year 2007. Or in 2008, right before Iron Man became Iron Man. And we lived in New York and we had the Baxter Building and everything's going to be the same but different. They're going to plug themselves into the MCU. Like they're going to plug into they're going to be like, oh, during the Battle of New York, they were there when the Avengers first assembled. But they were in the Baxter Building and they were fighting the Chitauri, just like the Ancient One was there, you know? Oh, they were there, you know, when Sokovia was falling in 2015, like they were helping with that, or they were, whatever they're going to do, they're going to like Forrest Gump, plug them into the MCU and go, they've been here the whole time. And Doctor Doom robbed them of their existence and put them here. And I feel like or
Galactus is the villain, one of the villains of the movie. When they do something like that, where Galactus actually consumes their planet.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'll tell you why. Because if they are from
beans over here.
If they're from a universe where it's like, no, this is their native universe. And at the end of this, Galactus destroys their reality and they have to escape and they shoot off and they escape into Battle World or whatever the Beyonder or whatever Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom set up or some other universe, maybe the Sacred Timeline. They like hop over and they're the 4 remaining survivors. Would Reed Richards at the end of Secret Wars not figure out a way, just like he does in the comic books, to restore his universe? He's either going to usurp the power of Doctor Doom for a second, usurp the power of some device like the Infinity Gauntlet or some, you know, usurp the power of the Beyonders or something, steal it, take it, because this is what Reed does, and then like makes reality the way that it's supposed to be, and then puts him and his family back in their native universe. Why wouldn't he do that? He's a big brain. That's would be his number one priority. He's not going to ask his wife to leave behind her family, all of her, you know, loved ones. Like the Fantastic Four don't have just each other. They know other people. They're friends with the effing mailman of the Baxter Building, Willie Lumpkin. They're not just going to abandon their entire, like all those people and just go, I guess we're refugees and we live in the MCU now. We live in the Sacred Timeline. Reed would figure that out. So no, I don't want that to happen because then, they would have to go back to their universe. And if people are going, what's the big deal, Hector? Just let them have their movies set here. It's super cool. I want to keep seeing this over and over again. Big deal is you're robbing me of having this Human Torch be friends with Tom Holland Spider-Man. You're robbing me of having this Susan Storm be flirted with by Namor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't rob me of that. Do not tell me the Fantastic Four don't belong in Marvel. They do, just the same way the X-Men do. So don't tell me like, it's fine. It'll be a separate universe. And that way we don't have to explain that they were always here and they never were and da-da-da-da. I don't give a shit. Just don't disconnect. They're Marvel's first family. So do not disconnect them from Marvel so that, you know, and if people are going, Hector, it's not a big deal. Every time they show up or cross over, it just needs to be like a multiverse thing. Everyone's tired of the multiverse. Don't ask the audience to once again be like, okay, here they come through a portal. All right, finally they can hang out. Right. The Thing is going to have his poker game with all the other Marvel characters that he has, you know, once a month or whatever. But he has to come through an interdimensional portal. Ugh, it's dumb. It's just one extra step. So I think I'm trying to do one of those like Babe Ruth calling it. Like I think they're going to reveal they were never from natively this universe. They've always been in the MCU, but they just want to have their cake and eat it too. And they want to have an incredible style in this really fun pseudo 60s world. Why not? And then be like, okay, we've had our fun, but same characters, same actors. You know, the Thing is the Thing. And we can still pluck these characters and go, actually, they're not active in the 60s. They're active in the 2000s. They're active in now. And Ben Grimm wasn't born in 1940, you know, 1930 or something. He was born in the 70s. He was born in the 80s. Anyway, but maybe that's just me hoping, and maybe Marvel is not going to do what I'm asking. And they're going to pull some shenanigans and keep the Fantastic Four from us. Also, John Malkovich is playing a Russian supervillain who controls super intelligent apes. This movie is going to rip, dude. This movie's going to be awesome.
I mean, John Malkovich, come on. Like, what else do you need?
Yeah.
It's going to be a crazy back-to-back July because we're going to get hit with Superman at the very beginning or on the 11th. And then literally 2 weeks later, on the 25th, with Fantastic Four. It's going to be great.
Hey.
It's a great month. I love it. It's going to be real fun.
It's good for movies. We're eating well, my friends.
It's going to be good for our podcast. But guys, of course, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about this first look at Fantastic Four First Steps? What are some of your theories on how the Fantastic Four will make their way into the sacred timeline? Do you agree with Hector? Do you have some other thoughts? I'm very curious to discuss this because I think this is like a fascinating thing to try and figure out and to see how close anyone is. And if Marvel really put that or thought about that, because that is such a big piece of how they move forward with these characters. So I'm excited to find out more about that. But let us know your thoughts. Check out everything else that we're watching and check out the Heroes Reforged podcast. We'll see you guys in the next reaction. Bye.
Heroes Reforged is gonna react. Heroes Reforged is gonna review. Heroes Reforged is gonna discuss. That's why we are watching.